We've got some announcements to make later after we get through some very generic training that everybody can use. Are we? Oh, we are recording, Gary? Yeah, we're
We're
recording.
recording,
Okay, good.
yes.
Okay, so I want to say this to everybody before we get started. Welcome here on Saturday morning, and this is going to be the last Saturday morning that we're going to do this. We're not telling you that we're not going to do training anymore. We're going to make a complete change for this new year, for the betterment and for the many. Because you got to remember what our mission is. Our mission is based on the vision that we want to change people's lives. And part of changing people's lives is not just from a financial aspect, it's from a life aspect. Because these are things that are not taught in the schools, at least not here in the United States. Life decisions, business, and how to run a business. We focus on that. And part of these things require a whole lot of moving parts, right? Mindset training, that's coming. Time management training, that's coming. Learning how to manage your checkbook. That sounds like a simple thing, but for a lot of people, it is not. And so, yes, our mission, right? Our mission is what? Our mission is that we are to reach out and we are to help our family first, understand what we have to do to fix the challenges that we have financially. Then once we've done that, once we've learned how to help ourselves, then we reach out and we can help others. Give me a 1 if that makes sense to everybody here. Give me a 1 if that makes sense. If we're not on the same page, give me a 2, because I need, Gary and I need for everybody here to understand what everybody continues to need to understand. And it doesn't matter. So see, again, it doesn't matter what business that you are promoting, because those of you that are in the same project with us are promoting other businesses, and that is great. But I will tell you, I will give you fair warning, do not promote more than one business that is not yet in what? Profit, consistent profit, not just every once in a while I make some money profit. That's not profit. Okay. Okay. That just means that you don't have the business running smoothly yet, right? And you have to understand, in order to learn how to run a business, you have to know that there are ups and downs in all business. And ups and downs are totally related to the finance side. You will have high moments, you will have low moments, and you will have what I call serene moments in business. But the vision and the mission has to be in the forefront of everybody's minds and souls. And you have to embrace it enough that it's inside of you. And once you do this, then you have your why. Okay, again, that's part of mindset training. And there's so many facets in order to run a business. And we take for granted, we take for granted that the average person just doesn't make any money because of the lack of a sponsor, the lack of a mentor, the lack of the proper training, the lack of the proper platform, the lack of the proper vehicle, the lack of this, the lack of that. And at the end of the day, it's only for a lack of not understanding the things that you got to do to run a business. And nobody should be surprised, right? That yourselves don't know these things. So if you don't know these things yet, how can you teach these things? Right? Give me a 2 if we're still on the same page. Give me a 2 if we're still on the same page. Okay. So the reason for training is not just to tell you that you don't take your affiliate link and post it on Facebook. I could just sit there and be done with that. Gary could just sit here and be done with that. No, the reason for training is that you have to learn life skills and business skills that you were never taught in any school on this planet. Now, again, I'm not talking about people that go to trade schools. All right. Trade schools teach you the practical application of how to do your job. I'm talking about specifically things that you don't know, don't understand yet because you have not what? You have not been a manager to learn how to manage employees, which is part of running your business. Because believe it or not, Gary will tell you this. I've got what, Gary, 20,000 1099 employees?
I would say that would be accurate.
Okay, now you might think, well, that's a huge number. Well, forget about the number for a second and focus on the fact that they are employees. And you go, what do you mean they're employees? They are employees. They're 1099 employees. They are what? What are they, Gary? They're self what?
Employed.
They're self-employed, and they just so happen to be underneath me, which means I am, and Gary is, and you are responsible for your employees. So you are already, by default alone, if you've got more than 2 people, you are a business owner and you are a business manager and just haven't realized that yet. And there are a lot of things that you are obligated to do in order to run your business and be successful. Isn't that right, Gary?
Oh man, here's something that we need to look at with it. There's a purpose for hierarchy when you have such a large group to work with, because neither Bob or myself know 20,000 people. We don't know 20,000 people. We only know a fraction of that. And so you develop what? You develop leaders within the 20,000 that do and replicate what we do. They replicate the skill sets to keep everybody functioning correctly within the system that we developed to do what? We developed a system that does what, guys? Come on, now we're interactive here today. Duplicatable. It's a duplicatable system. Yes.
That's part of it, Bobby. That's absolutely part of it.
That's a big piece.
Yep, that is the foundation.
That's the foundation, but what's your next step? What becomes your responsibility from there?
Morning, Roland.
Help the 2 get 2.
Keep it simple, folks. Keep it simple.
Don't.
What you're doing is Gary's asking you questions, but you're overthinking the answer.
Yeah. Simplicity.
That's right. Keep it simple. No, and KISS is not keep it simple, stupid. That was an old network marketing.
That's really old.
It's very old, but it's there. Okay. But we don't say keep it simple, stupid. No, that's not what we teach. That's not what we preach. We say keep it simply simple. That's what I want everybody to write down. The KISS method is to keep it simply simple. Dave is right too. Keep it stupid simple. And why? You talk about dumbing down things, right? I don't like those kind of words. Dumbing down. That infers that you're stupid to begin with, and there's nobody stupid on this call. I will not agree to that at all. But David is right in the bigger scheme of things, because you have to keep it simple. Okay? Here's a question that I want everybody to answer. What are you and I and Gary and Cindy and David and Bobby and Cheryl and Tricia, what are we not? Here's one answer. What are we not? Come on, throw the answer out there. Somebody's got to have it. One word. It's a one-word answer. Nope, not our boss. Not dumb, not salesman. Duplicate. Tina's got it. right there, duplicatable. You as an individual will never be duplicatable. That is the answer. You as an individual, me, Gary, Cheryl, Linda, Pete, Tina, Cindy, Francisco, we are not duplicatable. Right, Gary?
Here's the question I would throw out there real quick, Bob. Do you know what the biggest downfall or cancer that can enter into your business is? What's the biggest danger to your business?
They broke the mold. They
The
did, Bruce.
Yeah, I want you to think about it. Thank you, thank you. Well, no, 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 not at
Complacency.
all. No, those just pull you down.
Yes, they do.
They're not the cancer that destroys your business. No,
That could be part of
hey,
it, but that's not where
hey,
Gary's going.
that's not where I'm going. The number one problem in this business is we put a fantastic system. We know that works. We know the conversion rate is up around 90%. Okay,
Listen
or more,
carefully, very carefully what
or
Gary's getting
more,
ready to tell you.
or more. And somebody comes along within your organization and wants to reinvent the wheel.
Self-sabotage.
Don't
Exactly correct.
reinvent the wheel instead of plugging in a system we know for fact works.
Negativity is part of those things, Pete. But what Gary's saying is absolutely right. We as human beings, I guess, have a big fallacy, and we think that we know it all.
We can do it better than
Hey,
their way.
trust me, trust me. I've been down that road. 7 years, I thought I knew it all. The first 7 years, Gary will tell you, part of the story that him and I talked about was the 7 years. 7 years. Ask my wife. I failed online because I thought, because I was a business owner and a business manager and pretty successful, that I knew enough and knew it all, and I didn't need any help. I waited 7 years because I didn't have a system in place that was duplicatable, and I hadn't learned how to build one yet, which is part of the business acumen. Robin, you're right. If it's not broke, don't fix it. All right. And that's an easy enough thing to say, but Gary is absolutely right. We created, look, and again, this is all generic training. All right. So right now, we're not talking about our company. We're not talking about anybody else's company. And we welcome all the guests. I apologize for not welcoming and finding out what guests that we have here. And we have a big crowd, almost 150 people on a Saturday morning, and we love that, and we love you. But look, Gary's absolutely right. It doesn't matter the product that you want to promote. And I want to tell you, you don't sell anything. Write that down. I do not sell anything. So it doesn't matter the product that you promote. It doesn't matter the business that you promote. It doesn't matter the service that you promote. And it doesn't matter how you're branding yourself. You still have to develop a system that serves two purposes. The first purpose is that it works. So you have to test things and tweak things. And that's what Gary and I were doing for the first, month, Gary?
Yeah, yeah.
We kept testing and tweaking and twisting and turning because, like David mentioned to you already, hey, promote David, would you? Like David mentioned to you already, you've got to be able to have a system that is simple enough that 90% of the people can duplicate. And that's what Gary and I developed in the first 4 weeks. And those numbers continued. Those numbers continued, and they still continue to this day. And they continue to this day that we now see 500 new 500 new members joining our business every day. Right, Gary?
Yeah, let me add something to that. You guys have it made in ways that we never did have because we had no tools. We had no website. We had nothing but
We
one.
couldn't even use the name of our company.
No, and we had one video that we could use at the time that was full of inaccuracies.
Yep.
We had no tools, no system. We could see what we had in our hands to a point. We didn't see what it would develop to, but we had nothing to start with. You guys have PowerPoints, there's videos in other languages. Uh, you have so much to work with that we never had when we started this. Okay? So we did the grunt work to find out what worked, what didn't work, and so on.
And we do use a little bit of AI right now, but
yeah,
that's not important. But you got to listen to what Gary's telling you all. We built a team of over 20,000 paid members in our business that are not just members, they are completely qualified for the entire compensation plan of this business, and they are already in profit before we go live to the world. You cannot take that and try to twist it and turn it and rework it to fit your particular personality. Then, and I will tell you, I see every day the same people doing things the same way that is 100% opposite of what we teach, and they're getting the same results, and those results are absolutely zero. Right, Gary?
and what is the saying behind that? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of what?
Insanity.
Insanity.
Hey, Akeem, hang on a second, Gary. Akeem, you have not reached out to myself or Jeff McBee. I'm gonna put my Facebook in here, and I'll get you my home phone number, but I'm not putting it in here. Sorry, everybody. Akeem, we have a group in Tulsa going right now. We need you to plug in with us. So you are on Facebook. Is that correct, Akeem? So we say these things. Yeah, that's fine. You've been busy. I get it. We're all busy. And you know what? I want to address that real quick. That is a great thing for a gold nugget. Here's a gold nugget coming. I'm really, really busy. I believe that. I believe that. Give me a one if we believe that we are really, really busy in our daily lives. Give me a one. I would say over 90% of us have lives that we're not just sitting around in our house or wherever we live waiting for something to happen, that we have really busy. Well, there you have it. I don't see any two. Give me a two if you're not really busy at all, doing nothing. Give me a two if you don't have nothing to do. Yeah, Gabby, I know about your 12-hour shifts. Yeah, we're going to fix that problem, that challenge. I keep saying problems. They're not problems, they're challenges. We're fixing that. Quith knows where I'm going with this. Okay. It's called time management. And I'm going to give you a quick overview. I'm going to put together, and I tell you what, I am not Bob the Builder. What does that mean? That means that I don't build the slides and all that stuff. I get somebody else to do that for me, because y'all are visual, and what I want to be doing with time, especially time management, There's some good visuals out there. I just need to get them, Gary. So time management, real quick. I'll give you the quick overview. First of all, before you can talk about time management, before we can talk about time management, you have to have your why. Give me a 1 if you have to have your why before time management even comes into play. Give me a 2 if you don't understand why I tell you that. Because Gary and I need you to understand this. Not about our business. This is about any business. Doesn't matter what you're promoting, doesn't matter what product you like, love, and you want to share the benefits of it. There's a gold nugget. We do not sell, we share the benefits of a product that is working for you, that might work for somebody else.
You know what you don't share?
Tell them, Gary.
Features.
You never share features. All right. Look, time management in the reality of the world we live in today. I'm going to use Amy for a second. Okay. Amy's got a full-time job. So a lot of you probably either have a full-time job. Some of you may even have 2 jobs. Some of you have both. You're working and your spouse or partner is working. Okay. Well, in Amy's household, her son and her work at the same place of business, and they work again full time, and they also have to put in overtime. Okay, there you go. I got 2 jobs, but look at this. I got 2 jobs working 80 hours a week, and where is Queth right now? He doesn't have to be here. It's a part of time management that you have to completely understand, because if you do not, you have no chance in hell of being successful running a business. The 80 hours a week that Queth is putting in is not for him. Oh, it pays him money. Why? Because he's got to have it. But he is not living his dream. He's living the owner's dream. That is not a good plan. Anyway, time management, real quick. There's only 24 hours in the clock. Only 24 hours. So we can just start getting rid of it, right? So we're going to get rid of how many hours that you sleep. Write this down for yourselves. Everybody get out a piece of paper and pencil. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. Get a piece of paper and pencil out and write these things down, because you've got to have them in front of it. Bruce, that doesn't matter. That's your choice. That's your choice. Okay. And if it's not your choice, then it is what? It's another challenge, because in order to keep your health, I'm going to tell you all something. You have to have the proper amount of hours of sleep and the proper sleep. These are all part of it. That's another training just in itself. Okay. But I'm going to tell you, take the 24-hour clock, minus out the number of hours that you are currently sleeping. That is gone. Yeah, I get you, Bruce. I get you. That is gone. Next part. Those of you that have a full-time job, plus whatever those hours are, you take those hours per day. Now, we're not talking about, if you work 7 days a week, God bless you. We need to fix that. But normally people work 5-6 days a week. Okay. So you have to take those hours out. Okay. So now you've got a certain amount of hours. All right. Now we're not going to count the hours that you eat, breakfast, dinner, lunch, or whatever that case may be. We're not going to count those hours. All right. But now we're starting to get to the nitty gritty. We're starting to get to the nitty gritty because you've got hours that you have free will and choice with. Because if you're not sleeping and you're not working your day job, as I quote, and your day job doesn't mean it's during the day. You understand what I'm saying. Okay. You now have so many hours left. And yes, everybody's got chores to do. And I'm not going to count those either. Okay. Because those can be spread out. And, I know people that decide, well, I'm going to do it all in one day so I don't have to do it the rest of the week. So I don't count that stuff. All right. But here's what you got to count: how many hours a day, and you got to be honest with yourself. How many hours a day are you losing because you're doing stuff that is non-productive at all? How many hours a day are you doing things that are non-productive? Okay. Now, I'm not talking about going to church Wednesday night or Sunday. If you're 7-day Adventist, Saturdays, and we're going to fix some things for you all that are not here. I'm talking about simply hours a day. I can guarantee you, Gabby is one of my best students I've ever had. And I've had a lot of students, and I point her out, and she'll tell you that she's got a lot of tough love from me. A lot.
Hey, Bob, quick question.
Yep.
How many new people do we have on the call that this is your first call on a training call with us? Give me a one. If you're new to the call and you're a visitor with us.
Good. Excellent. Brandon. See that somebody is listening to Gary and I. That means what new people means that somebody is actually doing what we ask you to do. We ask every one of you to reach out and bring one person, just one person a week. 100 with 100 people here. The next week is 200. The next week is what? 400. And the next week we break the Zoom.
Here's my question for you new people. Are you starting to see some value in how to attempt to do something that's different than what you've done in the past? Give me a two if you get the feeling that what we're trying to teach works for people to the degree of 90% are in your groups become profitable. Because that's why people quit on you, right? People quit when what happens? When they don't make any money, but they keep putting money in, right? They drop out on you. So we want to teach you how to first get them so quickly into profit that never happens and nobody ever drops out on you. Then you have the opportunity to do what? Build an organization. You heard Bob say that we have over 20,000. What we didn't tell you is that 20,000 was developed in roughly 18 weeks. 18 weeks ago, I started with two people, Bob and Robert. That's it. And you know how many personally sponsored I have to this day? Bob and Robert.
Two people.
Two
David
people.
Gwynn, how many people do you got personally sponsored?
Two.
Okay.
Now,
Thank you.
this may not apply to all compensation plans the way we built it, but what I am trying to get an image in your mind, if you change the way you're doing something, plug into something that works, your organizations won't unravel on you and fall apart every 3 to 4 months. You put new people in because some people fell out that weren't making any money, and you keep redoing it. You love the concept, but you hate the reality. Okay? The reality is frustrating, and sooner or later, you're going to get tired of the endless pouring in, pouring out, and never making the promise of whatever company you're doing offers you. Because the potential of the company is not the compensation plan, it's the way that you've been taught and the way they have taught it in the past, or lack of teaching. Nothing was duplicatable per se, so everybody was doing their own thing. If you get a group of people all doing their own thing, what do you think the end results turn out to be? This for new people. What is your results when people are all doing their own little thing, trying to make it work? What's your percent that succeed doing it that way, guys? New people. Zero. It doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't have the opportunity to work.
No.
The reality, the reality of what Gary's saying is really simple. When you make the decision to plug in, first of all, let me go back and finish the time management real quick. So now there's a bunch of people that already knew where I was going with this, and this is for new people especially. You have to have your why first, and it has to be so ingrained that you don't just think about it, you live, eat, and breathe it. Because without that, you will not do what? Somebody give me the answer. Without a strong enough why, you will not do what? David.
You won't work the business.
Exactly. You will not find the time.
That's the key is the why.
David, what do people tell you from mostly? I don't what?
I don't know how to recruit. Time. I don't have the time.
How many times have you heard that, David?
A bunch, probably more than not.
Over the last 10, 15 years that you and I have been working together and knowing each other, how many times do you think, if you could guess, that the people that you've talked to just say, you know what, man, I don't got the time?
Hundreds.
Now, that's not the answer. They just think that's the answer they're giving David. They're saying that to David because they don't want to find the time, because they don't have their why established. If they had their why established, David doesn't even have to ask that question. They're asking David, okay, David, and see, this is what you've got to do with potential prospects. You've got to qualify. There's nobody here. And again, this is totally generic. Here is another golden nugget. Qualify the person that you intend to have in business with you. What does that mean? That means that you are going to know that they have their why. That means that you are going to know that they're ready, and they're going to tell you, okay, David, Bob, Amy, because you're going to ask them, how many hours a week can you give me to help teach you how to run your business? And if you don't ask that question, you're going to get exactly what you asked for. You're going to get a person that doesn't do anything. Okay? Now, you can't ask that question unless you're able to answer that question for yourself. Is that right, David?
That's right. You got to show up.
Give a little bit of your wisdom, David.
You've got to show up. If you don't show up, nothing happens. You know, I'm working with a guy now. I've been messaging him and talking to him for probably the last 60 days, and he kind of ghosted me and went away for a while, and he's wanting me to recruit his people for him. And I said, no, I'm doing you an injustice, dude.
Hey,
You know, I've got 10,000 people on my team. I cannot possibly give everybody one or two people. It's impossible. You're wanting to take the lazy road out, so you don't want success big enough.
Hey, David, I got a question for you. You just made a very interesting statement. David just said, listen to what David just said to you all. He has 10,000 fully qualified, 90% of them ready to be paid when we start our project with the world. And what he brought, how many, David, did you bring?
I brought 2 people.
And how many did your first level 2 people bring?
2.
And then how many did your second level?
2.
Your third level?
2.
Fourth level?
2, all the way down.
5th level. Everybody, and what is the secret sauce? Everybody wants to always, here's the biggest question that a network marketer that's never made any money, doesn't know what they're doing, won't plug in, won't listen, won't get trained. What is the number one question that they give you when you tell them that you've got 10,000 people under you?
How in the world did you do that?
What is your secret, David?
Yep.
They want it. There's got to be some miraculous secret sauce that you pour on what David is doing and telling and selling and saying. What is it, David? Tell the world.
I don't know. There's a few answers to that.
Well, tell them the simple one.
You got to roll up your sleeves and go to work.
That's it.
That's the first one.
You've got to have your why. David, okay, let's prove this point. David, what is your why for why you decided to join me 6 months ago now? 6 months ago? No, 5 months.
September.
5 months ago.
September. First week of September.
So what is in your why that you decided to join Gary and I on this journey, and you had no idea that we would get to where we are, but what was your why?
My why is because basically I'm 63 and I'm kind of like you, Bob. I'm debt free. I've worked hard all my life, paid my debts, got things paid off. So I don't really even need this opportunity.
There you go.
Some of your people are going to fall down.
Hang on a second, David. Listen, guys and gals, listen to this very carefully. Now, let me qualify something. 90% of you that are on this call are not debt free, but you will get to learn how to do that. And you don't learn that in school. You didn't learn that on your job. And only people that have been able to do that successfully can teach you that. And nobody wants to teach you that for free, but we're going to. But I want you to listen very carefully right now and write this down, what David's getting ready to tell you. Go ahead, David.
I have 4 children that I brought into this world. They didn't ask to be born. And now because of that, I have 5 beautiful grandchildren. So I want to build a legacy, and I want to get my children set up. I want to get my grandchildren set up. 2 of my grandchildren are 18, so they're going to be raising their families. So I want to help them as well. And that's first and foremost. The second thing is being able to help other people in this industry that have struggled and never made any money. They've got a bad taste in their mouth. Oh, it's a pyramid scheme, or no, I'm not going to do that. I've tried it and failed. But now we have the perfect opportunity. You know, there's 3 things that you want to look for when you start a business, maybe 4. One is you got to find a product that is in high demand. Is shopping online a high demand? I think so. You've got to be better than the competition, and you've got to reward those that do the work.
Oh, did you listen to that? It doesn't matter what business, what product, what service, branding yourself or not. You have to listen to what David's telling you because these are all truths.
So most people don't join opportunities. They join other people that have been successful. Absolutely. They want to follow their blueprint. Point blank. I mean, that's just the truth. That's 100% truth. How many times have y'all went and looked for an opportunity and you went sponsor shopping on YouTube because you wanted to find somebody that had 200, 300, 400 people in their group because you just knew they were going to help you? Well, a lot of you got a rude awakening, didn't you? Because it didn't happen that way. No, those are facts. It's just crazy how it works, but that's the truth. So when Bob called me back in September, I wasn't looking for anything.
Nope.
I thought he was just calling to say, "Hey, stranger, we hadn't talked in a while. How you been?" Boy, did I get a rude awakening. we talked about it, and it's like, you know what? I told myself a long time ago, I'm not going to join anything else unless it's a special opportunity that everybody can succeed. I don't want to be one of the ones at the top, the 3%, and watch everybody below me struggle, because I know I've been there. I know it hurts. And you just got to keep going on and never give up. And it will happen for you. So I signed up and joined. And I went out and I found two good people, Joseph Anthony, who likes to be called Joe, and then Scott Bland. Now, these two people are go getters. They have a good why. They love to help people, and it shows. How can you take two people and get to 10,000 in such a short time? I didn't bring those 10,000 people in. My workers did. Joe got workers, Scott got workers. We're building big teams. We've got Facebook groups, we've got Telegram groups, and to me, I like teaching and helping and building sales funnels more than I do recruiting people. Because it seems like when you recruit people, they think they want something. You recruit them, then you got to stay on them and babysit and do this and do that to keep them going. And I don't have time for that. I can say I don't have time
Yeah,
to
exactly.
babysit.
Exactly.
If I wanted to
Exactly.
babysit, I would open a daycare, hire my sisters and say, here you go. Let's just create a family and let's just babysit. But I don't have time for that. I like to help other people. And that's where my talent is. That's my forte. Everybody has their own forte, what they like.
Well, listen to that. That's a gold nugget. Every
And
single person on this call has talent. Do they not, David?
that's right. Just like the body of Christ. It don't matter if you're a pinky, a thumb, a big toe, or a left eyeball. Collectively, you're a human body.
Francisco said a very, very important thing just now. The secret to business is to know something that nobody else knows. And then
Yep.
that, see, here's the difference. Okay, you may, I'm gonna probably throw you off for a loop real quick, but in the world we live in a binary world. The binary code, zeros and ones. You're either a
Yep.
zero or you're a one. And a one is going to be somebody that has a secret to their success in business and never shares it with anybody because they're greedy. All they wanted is for themselves. They are part of the elitist in this world. And I'm going to tell you straightforward, David and I and Gary, we know who they are.
Yep.
We know who they all are. So does God.
90% of the big time marketers, as you would hear that word, big time marketers, that's all they are. They
And
can massively recruit.
if you're involved with any of these big time marketers, especially ones that are company owners that are still doing it the dinosaur way, as I told several owners that I know personally that have come to me for help now, I said, your days are numbered.
We're turning heads.
Your days are numbered. Your days of taking $30, $40, $50 a month or more from an individual, much less 20,000 people. I have 20,000 people that only invested one time into their business out of their pocket. I don't have 20,000 people giving me 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, $300 a month to stay in a business. No, ma'am. No, sir. But there are thousands of business owners that still are doing it this way. And I know that there are some of you on this call right now that are giving. This is like you working for an owner of a business and you're doing it. Why? Because you have to make a paycheck. Why? Because you have to put food on the table and take care of yourself or your family or both. This is not that. What I'm talking about here, this is a gold nugget. Quit giving the owner of a business that you believe may be a good business or a good product company 30, 40, $50 a month and upfront every month, month in, month out, while you are waiting for sometime later in the month to get a commission, and only if you've earned it. Give me a 1 if what I'm saying here, what David and I and Gary are saying here, it makes sense. Give me a 1 right now if you're getting value from this training. If you're getting value from this training, if you understand where we're going with this for all of you, especially talking about what we're talking about right now, because this is the industry that we are totally going to do what, David?
We're going to shut them down and crush them.
We're going to shut them all down. You have my word. You have my word.
And some of them are already shaking in their boots.
Well, the ones that already know about us are the ones that have started coming to Gary and us. And the ones that have started coming to Gary and us want us to teach them our process, and we are not going to do it. Now, some of you may say, well, Bob, you talk about sharing and you talking about da, da, da. I am telling you, that is a person that made a decision to take money from the many and only pay the few, and the few includes themselves only. And if you believe that that is a good way to help the many, then you are on the wrong training. I'll just be totally blunt with everybody here, as blunt as I am with the owners of this company. And Gary will tell you that I represent the majority. David will tell you that we represent the majority of the entire company. So we have a bit of leverage, and our leverage is used to protect every single one of you. Period. Every single one of you.
The exciting part is we haven't even opened to the public.
No.
What do you think it's going to be like when we open the doors? It's going to be like Niagara Falls. So y'all better get ready.
So, yeah. So before we go to the next phase of this training, which means that we'll be going to our specific talks and training with Gary and me and David this morning, for the new people, do you have any questions about any of the generic training that we've put out here this morning? It's important to us that if you're not clear or you have a question, Amy's fireworks, absolutely fireworks. If you've got a question, throw it out there. Don't be shy. The only silly question, they used to call it the only stupid question. No, the only silly question is the question that you don't ask.
Exactly.
Amen.
Right, Gary?
Amen.
So if you got a question before we move on, new people only right now. This is not a Q&A for our company. New people only. If you've got a question, Brian's right. There is no dumb question. The only thing dumb, if you want to call it that, is not asking the question. Okay? Because this is why we have the training. We want you to see, we don't care what you are promoting. We don't care. And the reason we don't care, it's not because we don't love you, it's because it doesn't matter. What matters is you get the proper training. And what matters is that you get some gold nuggets out of this training, and you can go take them, apply them. They work for you. And then you'll want to come back. And maybe eventually you might want to take a look at what we're doing, because not only does it make sense, because the people that brought you here care enough about you and want to love on you and want to help your family. Give me a 1 if that makes sense. No, John, it's never too late to join. But yes, the $45 part of this business for 12 months is now over. That was a special that we ran for a long time. We'll talk about that here in a second. Okay. New people only. New people only. If you've got some value that you think that you can take from this training and go apply and have some kind of success at it, give me a 2. New people only. New people only. Give me a 2 if you've got any value out of what you've heard so far today that you could take back to whatever you're doing, apply it, and see some kind of success. All right. Now, here's the important thing for you, all of you new people only. I want you to do that. Okay. Now, whoever invited you will be able to get you the replay of this 24 hours from now. And I want you to get the replay. And I want you to use it as a study session. This is what I want you all to start doing. You use the replay of trainings for studying, to go back and fast forward, rewind, and focus on specific things that we talk about so that you can take, and then, because you can't take everything that we talk about and try to do it all at one time. You have to, here's the next gold nugget. You have to focus on something first and take that something, that gold nugget, as I call it, and apply it and practice applying it and see if it works for you. And if it doesn't, you come back and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Why do I see you all doing these things and it's successful for you, but something I do is not, because look, my son is a day trader. He's taught himself for 2 years of the 7 years in day trading. He's self-taught. His why was so ingrained in him that he was working a full-time job and started his trading with $500 of his own money. And in 5 years, he turned that into $70,000. Now, that may not seem to be a lot of money and over a period of time, but he has never been under $70,000 in his trading account since, ladies and gentlemen. And now he has his own Discord. And what is Discord? I don't know. It's some kind of room. But the point is, he just started 2 weeks ago, and he's already got 8 clients paying him by the month to learn what he knows. Now, he didn't just trip over this. He didn't just fall into it. He had a why. He had the drive, the ambition, and the decision that he was still working a full-time job. Now he doesn't work a full-time job anymore. He still works a part-time job. And the only reason he's doing this is because he's got to get away from the damn computer. I'm going to tell you something that he will not want me to tell you because it's embarrassing to him. But he knows that we call each other out. He calls me out. I call him out. He lost $2,000 yesterday. $2,000 loss. Now you go, oh, Jesus. That would put me what? That would put a lot of people in harm's way of losing their home, of not being able to make their rent, of not being able to pay their bills for that month. $2,000 in one loss. It didn't faze him 1 second. Why? Because he doesn't count on that money. He does, listen very carefully. He does not count on that money to pay his bills. That money does not pay his bills. He made a mistake in his own trading regimen. He made a mistake, and he earned that $2,000 loss, and he made a very big reveal with this. Okay, first of all, if you're trading, and he doesn't trade crypto, he doesn't trade currencies, he doesn't trade gold and silver and all that stuff. All he trades is OTC and the NASDAQ and the S&P. That's it. All right. So he's very, very good because last week he made 7,000. Week before he made 4,000. 2 weeks ago he had a $10,000 day. Now that's not every day. That's not every week. But my point is he disciplined himself enough starting with a why and made the decision that he was going to learn something. And he didn't trade a penny for 2 solid years. He put 2 solid years into learning his craft. And then the third year, he did nothing but trade paper for a whole year, verifying. His whole room is covered with his methods that he learned, that he taught himself, because he trades on dips. He trades on the candle method. And I know some of you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Some of you do. And I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, David.
It's complicated.
but
Very complicated.
But David understands. Gary understands my point. Here's my point about all this. Before we move on to Des Alpes, you have to have your why. Write this down. You have to have your why. You have to step back. If you're an individual, you have to look inside yourself to develop the why. If you are a family man, you have adult children, you have to sit down with your whole family. And your why is not just your why. Your why is your wife's why. Your why is your partner's why. And your why is your children's why. And even if they're not adults and they're old enough to understand, you need to start teaching them now. Another gold nugget, right, David?
That's right. How many people remember as a child their very first bicycle they ever got? You didn't just get on that bicycle and take off riding it. Your parents probably put what? Training wheels on that bicycle. Remember the old training wheels, one on each side where you couldn't tip over? Training is the most important thing to be successful in anything. And that's all I've got.
Hey, there was a wise football coach in the NFL who's passed. His name was Vince Lombardi.
Yes.
He said one most important thing that we can analyze it, we can qualify it and quantify it. And he said this. He said winning is not the only thing. I mean, not winning. Yeah, winning is not the only thing. Winning is everything. Training. It's the same principle. Training is tantamount to your success or your failure. Now, not all training's equal. Give us a 1 if you understand that not all training is equal.
And not only that, Bob, you've got to do something with that training.
Ah, yes.
I bet there's hundreds of people out here in the world that have watched hundreds of training videos in one area or another. They've got their hard drive loaded with them because they got them free, or maybe they even bought them, but they never did anything with it.
Yep, Trish is right.
You got to take action.
Oh, I want to read this to everybody. I know people can see it, but I'm just getting started. Trish is. I have many obstacles and issues. I want to hold that right here. I have many obstacles and issues. I want to read this that should prevent me from succeeding. Okay. So what Trish is doing is identifying. See, you do have to identify the things that prevent you from going and doing. The things that are preventing you from going and doing what you want to in your life, you have to identify first and write them down, and you have to eliminate them one by one. Okay. So she says right here, it is up to me. There is nobody else it's up to. It ain't up to God. It ain't up to your partner. It ain't up to your kids. It's up to you. She's absolutely right.
If it is to be, it is up to me.
Right. That's a famous one. Okay. And Des Alpes is her vehicle now.
Thanks for coming, Brian.
Thank you, Tricia, for that. That's just some excellent stuff there. Excellent stuff. Okay. Anybody else? Why can't we hear? Well, Anna, everybody else can. And so what you want to do is you would have to leave and then come back. Okay. We're at the top of the hour, so we have finished.
It was very inspiring of what she posted, and that shows genuine. She's genuine. Yeah. She's wanting to learn. She's frustrated, but she understands what she's got to do to make it work for her.
Absolutely. And
Again, everybody has their own forte.
there's a saying out there. Some will, most won't. And I want to change that. Don't you, David?
I do.
Most will and some won't.
Or another way to say it is some will, somewhat, won't, so what, who's next? But I
yeah,
don't like the so what because I want to take that so what out of there
exactly.
and help that person.
Exactly. We are doing that. We are doing that with the way we built this. Gary and I we're getting an attorney, just so y'all know, and we're going to do this. We're going to take what we have done and we're going to get it copyrighted and trademarked, because there's nobody that's done what we've done. Nobody in 50 years, 100 years of this industry has done what Gary and I put together 6 months ago and have done that. And this is not stopping anymore. We told you we're growing at the rate of 500 new members a day, and there may be more than that now. I don't know. I just know that there's almost 30,000 in the whole company, and Gary and I have 70%. We still have 70%. Now, that's not it's yes, you could say miraculous, okay, but it's not. It's because Gary, tell him why, Gary.
Well, we chose to go a different direction, and basically we wanted nobody left behind. We wanted nobody to be wanting to ever drop out. We wanted to give people success that hadn't tasted success before. So we came in with the idea of what happens if we help people get qualified to get in profit quickly. No one drops out if you're in profit. It wouldn't make sense, right? Would it make any sense to drop out if you're in profit and you're not reaching in your back pocket every month after month after month, right? It's no fun pulling money out of your wallet hoping to get ahead, right? That doesn't work. You've tried that, right? How many? Give me a two if you've already tried that old method and it didn't work for you hardly at all, right? Doesn't work. So why do something that doesn't work? So we took a different approach. We focused on getting the people below us qualified and in profit. Right? So how much unraveling do you think we'll ever see? Come on, guys, interactive here. How much will unravel using the system we developed? Zero.
It's a
Virtually zero, because there's no reason. No unraveling. So if it's not unraveling, it allows you to do what? Build and develop depth, right? All the things they've talked about in the past that didn't work. We've been able to do both depth and solidarity all the way through the system. Qualified, in profit, and depth all at the same time, simply because we stayed with a very simple process. Okay? We wanted to make sure we tested the process, it worked. I mean, we virtually were, for quite a while, and Bob still might be there, it's basically sitting on a near 100% success rate. Folks, I don't know about you, in the old days, somebody with a 15-20% success rate, they were looked at like walking gods or something. Okay? We've taken and created into nearly 100% all the way through when we do a three-way or something like that. Because why? Because everybody has already had their why, number one, video, and number two, they understood the comp plan before we were on a phone call with them. And once we got to a phone call, what did we do? We asked a series of questions in which there can only be one answer. What am I looking to do when I'm on a call with somebody? And I start asking questions. They've already got their why. They've already understand somewhat how the compensation plan. No, not yet. We want to give them a series of questions in only which they can get a only answer is yes. Right? Remember, we talked about this once before. If we get somebody answering yes, 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 yes 4 or 5 times, okay, 4 or 5 times, how uncomfortable is it to say no? All right, let's try this. Let's do the exercise that we did before, guys. I want everybody to shake their head yes 5, 6 times, and then try to switch it to a no and see what happens.
That about hurt my neck.
It hurt. It's uncomfortable.
Snap, crackle, pop.
They're not going to do it. We don't do what is uncomfortable. It's human nature. If it's uncomfortable to us, we're not going to do it. Right?
Welcome, Alan Silverblatt. Welcome.
So,
look, Alan is, hey, promote Alan for a minute. I'm going to let Alan speak for a minute. Yeah, I got you, Alan. You can't come on my Zoom and get away. Promote Alan Silverblatt, please, sir.
We're doing it.
I want you to meet somebody that.
I'm here.
Alan, are you there?
I'm here.
Well, turn your camera on.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Now
There he is.
Now you sound like Joe. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
All the way from Mississippi.
The reason that I'm picking on Alan is a couple of things. First of all, Alan didn't get to start with us 6 months ago, and Alan is probably, David, he's probably about 400 down from you, 500 down from you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing.
So Alan.
Hello.
Alan, how many people, before you do your deal, I want everybody to hear this. How many people did you start with?
2.
What is it about this number, Alan? This number 2.
That's the secret sauce.
And so now, Alan, tell the world how long you've been with us so far.
Oh, a few weeks. Let's see, maybe 4 weeks, maybe.
4 weeks, right?
I'd say
okay.
4.
Before you reveal what you know, I'm going to have you reveal. Give them a little background and why you decided to come along with us.
Okay. Quick background. I own a retail clothing business for 51 years. So anybody knows retail, that's 6 days a week. That's pretty hard. I just got back from market in Dallas for the whole week. So as you said, everybody's busy. I'm super busy, and I do this part time. But I have a why, which everybody needs. That's the first thing, as you heard Bob say. And my why is to help my family and possibly retire from this, but I enjoy it. But whether I retire or not, it doesn't matter. But I want to help my kids and my grandkids so they may not have to work as hard as I do. And I do have some of my family in this. So if you don't have a why, you will never succeed. And the only person in charge is you. So you can look in the mirror every day and you say, I'm going to do this. And you keep saying that every day.
So how did you find out about Des Alpes?
Actually, I'm in Mississippi, and a lady that I know from the UK actually sent me a message that we've been in businesses together, and I'm actually sponsored by a lady in South Africa. So we've got an international. So
Love
uh,
it.
with the advent of the internet and everything else, communication is worldwide pretty easy.
Absolutely. So, what did you see about this business model or about what Gary and I are doing that made you confirm that this was something that you were going to, well, because of the busy that you were going to take and make some time to start building this? What was your main decision?
My main decision was that I didn't look at the big money necessarily, but what I looked at is the 97% of the people that have never made money in network marketing. And
Listen
I
very
saw,
carefully. Listen very carefully to what Alan is getting ready to tell you. Thank you.
okay, so I'll repeat. I wanted to help the 97% of the people that never made money in network marketing. I was, I've been doing this. I've been an entrepreneur and a networker for over 45 years. I've seen a lot come and a lot go. I'm very, very specific about what I do and what I want to spend my time doing. So when I saw nothing's easy, I won't use the word easy. Nothing's easy. How simple this was for somebody to sponsor two people and be in profit. I've never seen anything like that. So if somebody had a why and just a little get up and go, you don't have to put in 50, but anybody can find two people if they want to. If they want to. And so when I saw that, and I will say that Joe and Bob, who I've gotten to know, I like being in business with them. I also want to attach myself to people that are successful. I don't have to reinvent the wheel, but
Ah,
you want to hang around successful people, and that's what I did. So I like these people. I like the owners, and why they started this was for the 97% of the people. And it is a startup, and we've had bumps, but we don't even know what all we've got coming. It's unbelievable. I don't know everything, but this is going to be an unbelievable 2025 for the people that join us. But
that's
it is
correct.
for everybody.
Absolutely.
Hey, so Alan, now let's do the reveal because everybody wants to know. First of all, you got to know that they're thinking, how in the world would a guy decide that he's 500 people from the top? Okay, but let's qualify this. Yes, he's starting 500 people from me. Okay, but that means that he is only 500 people from a guy that's the number 64 in the company. I am the number 64 person in the whole entire company. So where Alan is in the bigger picture of things is exactly where Alan needs to be. And Alan is going to see not only his own personal success, not only his family's success, but the success of his entire team based on what he is doing. And what he's doing is building it the same way that Gary and I are doing. Now, Alan, you said 4 weeks, right?
Right.
Okay. How many paid members do you currently have in with you in this first 4 weeks?
I'm going to say I hadn't been able to check exactly, but I believe we're up to about 250 now.
Not
Powerful.
$2.50.
250 people, excuse me.
Powerful. Very powerful.
250 people, and we've got a plan, and we've got anyway, we've got 1,300 more that we're going to
Oh,
have.
don't tease us now. Don't be teasing us, Alan. Okay,
So
Alan is
we have
an
plans.
integral part and will fast in track because look, I tell people this, and I want Alan to hear this too. If Alan would have started with us 6 months ago, I'm going to tell you that Alan would have at least 5 to 10,000 people under him right now. There is no doubt about it. Because once this has started, when Gary and I started this, for all you new people that are still here, we started this 6 months ago. In the first week, Gary, how many did we get? How many came in after R2?
Actually, we started 5 months ago, but we actually, after the end of the first week, we had just a little over 100 people at the end of our first week.
And how many people did you bring?
2 people.
And how many people did I bring?
2 people.
And how many people did my wife bring?
2 people.
How many people did Craig Linfield bring?
2 people.
How many people did David Gwynn bring?
2 people.
How many people did my daughter bring?
2.
Okay, go ahead.
But there's one thing I remember most of our journey. And I'm going to say it's now been 6 weeks ago. I remember the week 6 weeks ago, I'm guessing, because I can't remember exactly. We hit the point of 2,300 people.
It was actually, I've got that written down. It was 6 weeks ago. Yes.
And what happened is we reached what we call the momentum growth stage. It seems to me that when you hit 23, 24, somewhere in that number, anything over 2,000, you hit a growth stage, and from there you explode. So I always thought from that experience for us that should be people's goal. Hit that 2,000 mark. The 1,000 should be the first goal, but the real goal is 2,000 because you're about to reach a growth spurt and your business will take off like it's got jet fuel behind it. And you can't do anything to slow it up, even if you wanted to.
But Gary, wait, Gary. There's only so many people in the world that could join us, so you're going to have saturation, right?
You know, there was an old saying one time about a country that had so many people that if you lined up a battalion and shot people 24 hours a day, the population would outgrow the people dying no matter what you did. Got to remember, people are not generally open to an opportunity until what point in life? When do people become open to an opportunity?
Wait for it.
Come on, guys. Interactive. You're sure not going to do it before you're 18 years old, and generally most 18-year-olds aren't interested. So you have to get to your mid-20s before. Not Tina almost hit it on the head. When life throws you a curveball, you realize that your income is not adequate for your real needs. Maybe the car broke down, the roof needs repaired, something happened that made you open to an opportunity that you weren't before, right? The world population is only going to have a certain percentage open to any opportunity. But that number is a monstrous number. And the problem that happens for us, we're caught into a thinking mold, particularly here in the United States, per se, that the whole world revolves around us, and it doesn't.
It never has.
English is not the predominant language. Okay? Income insufficiency. Exactly. So if you change your thinking, look, here's what's going to happen. If I had a crystal ball to show you, and I wish I did because I could tell you how accurate this is going to be. Within 12 months of the growth explosion starting somewhere from February 1st on, Des Alpes is going to grow to over 1 million members within that first 12 months. Okay? 12 months to the first million. Okay? The time it's going to take to get to the second and third million will go much faster than the first year. Why? Because of sheer numbers. Okay? So we're going to morph and change in what happens. You'll see your product mall will start to exceed massive numbers of products, and opportunities will open because of the volume coming out of it.
Let's
Now,
give them a quick shot of perspective. Okay.
Well, I'm heading that direction, but when have we ever had the opportunity to shop every month, not pull your wallet and credit card out of your back pocket, right? And we leave our back wallet, we leave our cards in our pocket because we don't have to mess with that. We're going to get paid on everything that's bought, but it isn't coming out of our pockets. It's coming out of profits, right? That's a new concept, folks. So that's going to attract the masses beyond anything you can imagine. The second thing that's going to happen is big ticket items are going to get entered in. What do I mean by big ticket items?
Big ticket.
Big ticket. How about travel? How about cruises? How about hotel, motel package deals and different things that are much higher dollar, and yet we're going to have a built-in discount they can't match. Okay? We're going to end up with discounts that the hotels.com and Travelocity and the rest aren't going to be able to match. And it's not available only through what? Through our shopping mall.
Through your shopping mall.
All of us, our own shopping mall, tied to you.
Personal mall. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask everybody a question here, because now those of you that have been through the angst of months of changes, first of all, let me qualify the angst. You don't get to have it. You have it because you're human, but you don't get to have it. I'm going to tell you who gets to have the angst. That's the owners of the company. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the owners of this company are not like the owners that I keep talking about, that we are going to do one of two things. And they're the owners of companies of the old style of network marketing. And I've already started talking to several of them. They're either going to do one of two things. They're going to collaborate with us because they do not have them all, but they have 10, 20, 30,000 people, or they're going to get crushed. It's just that simple. And they know it. So now they have a decision to make. Why? Because their version of network marketing is over. They just haven't felt it yet, but they will now. They will now. And how do I qualify that? Because we have the single biggest business model and business plan that has never seen the light of day on this planet, getting ready to launch to the world in less than a week. Okay? Online shopping. Let's qualify this, ladies and gentlemen. How many here, and we got 141 people still here. Thank you, all of you that are still here. Of the 141 people, how many here have ever shopped online, or they shop online at least once a month? Give me a one. if you shop online at least once a month, it doesn't matter where you shop online. If you shop online once a month, give me a 1. If you don't shop online at least once a month, give me a 2. Okay, there's some 2s. Okay. And there's going to be, those people are going to have reasons why. Okay. Now, some of those people may shop locally, and I get that. Oh, guess what? We have a very, very huge element coming that will allow you to take your shopping mall and collaborate with your local business people. Yes. Yes. These people that own this, I forgot to mention to you, there's 4 of them, not 1. You have to understand something. 4 owners and not 1 make it very difficult for any single one to do what? To shut this down. You have to understand, Gary and I have run businesses, owned our own companies. We know what goes on in the bigger picture of world business. And we are in the business of the world, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So getting back to where I'm going with this picture. So yes, majority of people in one form or fashion shop online, and the majority of people in the world shop where? Give it to me. Where do you shop online? The majority of people in the world, where do you think they shop online? Amazon. Excellent answer. Now, Amazon's not the only one. Okay, but I'm going to prove to you why there's never going to be a lack of what? A lack of customers first, and then business people second, because you are a customer first and foremost. Every single one of you are customers. My first 2 are my customers, and I am a customer, and I will buy in the mall. Why? Because I'm going to get paid a commission. Why would you not buy in your own mall? Oh, and did I tell you? Has anybody here heard of Groupon? Yep, Temu is low class, Anna. I'm just going to tell you, low class. They want to be high class. Matter of fact, Temu, just for y'all to know, Temu is not long for this world. You heard it from me. You don't have to believe it. But just like Kohl's and just like a lot of companies that David knows about, that Gary knows about, that are shutting down their stores. They're not shutting them down because they want to. They're shutting them down because they have to, because people are doing what? They're changing the way that they do business. They're not going to the shopping malls. They are going to some of the new shopping malls. We've got one here in Oklahoma that just opened up. It's a secondhand shopping mall. They don't tell you that, but they're all like Macy's. All right, big name, Navy, all kinds of big names, but they're not their first. They're not their new stuff. They're the old stuff that hasn't been selling. They don't tell anybody that. I just happen to know it. Okay. The trend is not a fad. It is a trend. Online shopping is going ballistic, and that's never going to stop. So what is your business? Yep. Remember a Groupon? You remember a Groupon. That's good, because we're using the Groupon business model. Give me a 1 if it's okay that we give you coupons to shop in your own mall that you can give away to your friends, to your family, to your business people that you know, people that you go to church with, people. I could go on and on and on.
With your link in that coupon.
Tell them, David.
Your link is embedded in all those coupons. They don't have a choice but to go to your website if you personally give them that coupon.
David, how many people per week do you think that you can give a coupon to?
Hundreds.
How many do you want to give it to?
Yeah.
Come on, people.
What do you need a discount for? I'll find a coupon for it.
Yeah. Guess what? We're already negotiating with restaurant chains. Yeah. Yes, we are. Restaurant chains.
Just when you think it couldn't get any better.
Do you hear what we're saying to you? You're going to be able to take your mall of 206, 210 stores Some of you are going to have malls with over 300 to start. Yes, you are.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't know this yet, but Gary and I and David do. Oh, yes, you are. And also, Alan Silverblatt, are you still out there?
I'm here.
Hey, I'm going to ask you a
Not
question.
Lou.
For those that missed this, Alan, what have you been doing for 31 years as your main course of business?
I need to correct you. That's 51.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Tell him. Tell him.
My wife and I own a clothing store.
Listen to this very carefully. Go ahead, Alan.
We carry everything but men. We carry babies up through women's. We carry baby up through a size 20 in boys. Covers everything but men clothing.
Guess what Alan's getting ready to do? Tell him, Alan. Tell him what I'm getting
I,
ready to
I,
do for you.
I love it. So I'm going to have thousands, and at the end of next year, I'll have 1 million eyeballs looking at our mall. And as my granddaddy used to say, if enough people walk in front of your store, somebody's going to fall in and buy something. So
Amen.
if I've got 1 million people, somebody's going to look at my site and somebody's going to buy something because we got nice stuff.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
if you're not picking up what Alan's laying down, Alan's telling you that he's getting ready to have a conversation with the admin of mall operations and the admin of Des Alpes entire operations, and they're going to give him the chance to put his clothing store in the mall for the entire world to shop in. Give me a 2 if you understand how big a deal this is. Give me a 2 if you understand how big a deal this is. And guess what? Alan knows. Alan has not only clients locally, he has business connections locally. And guess what his business connections are going to get the opportunity to do? Tell him, Alan.
They're going to get the opportunity to shop in our mall and join us.
And some of them are going to get the opportunity to do the same thing Alan's doing. And do you think, and Alan, do you think for 1 second they will not look at that opportunity?
100%, 120%.
And how many people use coupons, Alan? In your 51 years of being in the retail industry itself, how many people do you know that use coupons?
Everybody can find one.
Yes. So, folks, you have no idea. If you don't know what you have in front of you in your hands right now, you are absolutely in the wrong place to begin with. Would you agree to that, Alan?
100%. Best thing I've seen in 45 years. I mean, if you can't get to people, just don't do this.
That's right. If you cannot, if literally, I'm gonna tell you, this is tough love. Ask Gabby. Ask Amy. Amy's been with me for 8 years. I ask Alan if I don't give Alan tough love.
Absolutely, I love it too.
Tough love, buddy. Why? Because Alan knows that we're not going to break the wheel that ain't broke. But Alan also knows that I am a realist, and I realize that Alan has tremendous, tremendous connections and tremendous skill sets that I'm going to take advantage of, because Bob is not going to be the only one doing this teaching. He's not. He's just not. Bob's got too many things that Bob's getting ready to do, and it involves me getting my passport. Yes, because I already have invitations to Canada, to New Zealand, to Australia, to South Africa, here in the United States. And oh, by the way, the 20,000 that we have under us, guys and gals, 70%, we use the 70% number because it's easy to use. 70% of our 20,000 are not in the United States. I want to repeat myself, because there is your challenge to each and every one of you that are in the United States right now. You have a challenge in front of you. You think that you might have a why? I'm going to tell you the South African why. The South African, the average South African, the average African that is coming in daily right now on some of our biggest teams takes a year of their wages to make their initial investment into Des Alpes. 1 year.
Seems impossible, doesn't it?
It
It
seems
really does seem
impossible.
impossible.
But why would they be the ones that are going crazy? Because the reverse happens when they get paid in what, David? US dollars or
US
crypto?
dollars and crypto,
And
either one.
crypto.
Yeah.
They get paid. Everybody in these foreign countries know the value of the US dollar in the digital currency, and they know the value of the what of our dollar, even though it's 0.97 cents. That's the truth. I looked it up Friday. 0.97. It's okay. It's still a dollar of US dollars trades just tremendously against their own currency in all these countries. So that is one reason why. I'll tell you the biggest reason why. Alan, what do you think is the biggest reason why people's whys outside of the United States are stronger than ours in the United States?
Because first of all, they don't have the income potential that we do in the United States, as you just said. To $129 is 1 year of wages, and they want to get out of where they are. They're all very poor, and this is like $1 million coming into them. So they have a why because they too probably want to help their families, probably don't want to work the jobs that they're working. So their whys are extremely bigger than most of the whys in the United States, I would say. Not 100%, but most.
Not 100%. But one thing that they saw, you know who saw the people in India, the people in Africa, the people in Australia, in New Zealand, and Denmark, and we're in 60. I thought we was in 50 countries. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about the company. Now, yes, the company, because the company owns what we're doing, right? But our team alone now is in 63 countries. 63 countries, and we haven't even launched yet.
The world is a big place.
So if you think saturation is an issue for anybody, I'm going to go back and give you the complete facts. Amazon has 200 million people paying them $15 a month. And I'm going to tell you what they get for it. It's a great deal, right? How many of y'all are paying $15 a month for Amazon Prime? Give me a one. Give me a one. If you're paying $15 a month to have Amazon Prime, give me one. All right, here we go. First of all, Amazon Prime is 30 years old. We are not. I want you to write that down. Amazon Prime is 30 years old. We are not. Amazon Prime business model is to have all of the things that you want in one spot so that you will come to them to buy it. That is e-commerce at its best. And they do a fantastic job of doing that. But they took 30 years. Okay? We're not going to take 30 years to get to the level of Amazon. We'll see the level of Amazon in the next 1, 2, possibly 3 years at the most. I don't even think it's going to take 3 years. All right. Our business model for our pricing structure is based on Amazon's pricing structure. So we are
check your right rear tire.
We are cheaper on the majority of products we already have. On the majority of products we already have, they're cheaper than Amazon. Okay, this does not count the fact that some of it's got free shipping in it. That does not count the fact that some of it is already set up for the coupons, and we're going to have coupons available for everything. All right. So not only are you going to be able to shop online and have access to quality merchandise, quality products, quality products, okay? Not just BS stuff. You can go get that anywhere. But also high ticket items that you thought that you couldn't afford. Gary alluded to that. We're signing a deal with a travel company. And the travel company only signs a deal with people that have what? Thousands of people. The company has about 30,000 people now. That is a big number for a lot of reasons. So we're negotiating things based on the numbers, and these numbers keep going up, folks. As we keep growing, as you keep growing your own mall, your customer base, and your customer base turns into what? They turn into not just customers now, they turn into business partners with you. That is what you want to do to drive us to the levels of Amazon's and higher. Understand the business models, the business principle, and you will see why this can never stop. And you are giving them $160 a year. David, how much are we giving Des Alpes?
0.
How much did we give Des Alpes to start our business?
129.
And how much do we give Des Alpes a month out of our pocket after the 129?
0.
0.
Comes out of our profits.
Now, you may sit there and do nothing, and you will get nothing.
Right.
Simple as that. Now, everybody that's on here are ambassadors, okay? Or you should be ambassadors. You want to be ambassadors before, and what do you do to be ambassadors? You get your 2 people. We don't talk about one. Get your 2 people, get it out of the way, but be strategic if you can. But understand this. The other thing about people overseas is they are family oriented. Des Alpes is family oriented. How can I qualify that? My wife is on my first level. My daughter is on my second level. My son's on my 4th level, and it's all approved, all ethical and legal. Where else can you do this?
Don't forget about the huge team in India coming.
Hey, Bob.
Yep.
I got a final statement before I got to take off.
That's fine.
So I'll let you close the recording out today.
Yep.
But I'm going to take Bob back on a memory lane trip. When we first started, the company had a goal that the mall would open when we made it to 15,000 members.
Oh, I'm glad you're going down this road. Thank you.
Projected to happen after about 90 to 120 days live.
90 days minimum.
90
for
days
15,000
minimum.
or we couldn't have them all. Remember that, Gary?
I do. That's why I'm bringing this up. Okay. That number is doubled, and we still have a week before we go live. We're so fast, so far ahead of the original projections. And even back then, we were still projected to hit 1 million in the first year, folks. But we are more than, I'm going to say we're 80% faster growth than the original projection. 80% growth faster than our original projection. And you have to ask yourself, why? How is that possible? Well, you have to look at what the company has done that hasn't been done before. Number one, we only pay one time. We're not hitting people month after month on their credit cards, taking money out of their pockets month after month, right? All upgrades, all purchases are coming out of your profits, folks. Profits. No dropouts. Whatever company have you ever been involved with has a 0 dropout rate, or very close anyway. Okay? Almost 0 dropout rate. Okay? That's just never been done before. So we took and looked at Des Alpes as having solved every weakness that the opportunity market, MLM industry, whatever you want to call it, direct sales, that every weakness that model held, we figured a solution out for it, right? Can everybody see that? Give me a 2 if you can see that's the case. We took all the failure out of the business model. So each of you that are on this call, ask yourself this question. What do I need to do to create that success for myself, my group? Okay? If Zalps is taking all the failure out of it, you only have to do one thing, folks.
One thing.
Just one thing. Go get your 2 people, and then your whole goal from there on is to help the people below you get qualified. That's your only job left. There's nothing that we're telling you, not one item that we did different than what we're telling you that we did. Okay? We team build. Okay? Because by doing it this way and doing it in a way that helps everybody, you're going to build a solid organization that's going to be here 10, 15, 20 years from now on the long term, right? Can anybody envision what our mall will be like when you have 250,000 products out there and companies coming begging you to allow them to be part of that? Okay? You have to have the bigger vision. Now, I'm going to say that I probably won't be around in that period, maybe, but I've got good.
Yeah, you're going to be here.
15, 20 years from now, I'm going to be, if I'm here, I won't exactly have my full functionality, okay? So, but I can look down the road and see it. And who am I seeing it for? I'm seeing it for my grandchildren and my children and my great grandchildren when they come along. Okay? Well, see, here's the thing, guys. Nobody gets a guaranteed tomorrow. But I want to give you the vision of what I do have. And the vision says that we're talking about a legacy that gets to be passed on to my children and my grandchildren and so on. Okay? So, with that, Bob, I'm going to say adios to everybody.
We're going to wind it up here.
Okay.
I'm going to do a couple of things to let everybody know. In your back offices, I know people are going in their back office just to see if things are changing. And yes, they're changing. And the one thing that you need to know is in your back office under your team tab. If you go in your back office and look at under your team tab, you're going to see numbers. Now, those of you that took snapshots January the 14th before midnight are going to see that your numbers have not caught up yet. Now they will. And Craig and I first saw this yesterday. I haven't talked to Tony about it, but I don't need to, because what he's doing is now he's rebuilding our matrix based on timestamp. Okay. Now, because we built it the way we built it, everybody that we know is going into timestamp the same way they came in. Okay. Everybody we know is going in the timestamp the same way they came in. All right. So does that necessarily mean that we will see everybody that we think we're supposed to see? Maybe not. All right. But they're there just the same. They are going to be there just the same, because once you used your hard coded link, these people are always linked to you all the way down your structure from level 1 to level 5 and on. And speaking of, you'll see a lot of verbiage has changed in the back office too. Go in your back office once a day and make sure that you're looking around to see. Go over there to the Frenchie. I call him the Frenchie icon in the top right. Click on him and look at your profile. Make sure you check your profile. Make sure your information is correct. You can edit parts of your profile now. Okay, so if you don't, I'll give you an example. If you don't have your legal first and last name in there, you better get it changed. Why? Because
KYC coming.
that's right. There to go. The owners right now are going through KYB. Okay, we all will go through KYC, which means that you will absolutely, positively, legally identify yourself, or you will not have a position. It will go away. Now, and they'll probably have to refund you over something like that. Now, speaking of refunds, I'm going to tell you that the only people that can get a refund are those that have not been paid. Just going to tell you straightforward. So, why does Bob sit there? I ain't afraid of it. I'm not afraid of telling you reality. All right. The reality is that not everybody's going to come with you. So you can automatically take 20% off of the number that you think that you have, because you got to remember a couple of major things. There's people that were free in your total number. Those will be gone. Those come off your total number. Those people that come off your total number will not do what? They will not be able to pay in. Now, the next group of people are the ones that have the $45. They got a spot. That is a timestamp spot in the matrix. Okay. They are going to be given a period of time. Right now, it's to the 31st of January to pay their 120, the balance of their 120. And you can pay it in crypto, or you can pay it with your credit card, debit card right now, if you live in countries that allow you to do that. We all know that. And everything's automatic now. The join page was never shut down. Now, we know about some glitches earlier today. If you've got somebody that's joining and they come back and say that they got an invalid invitation link, let your team leaders know that, because that's happened a couple of times today. So let me repeat myself. If you have somebody joining and they get an error code that says invalid invitation link, the first thing you want them to do is dump their cookies. And if you don't know how to dump your cookies and clear your cookies and things like that, get with your upline leadership. They should know. And if they don't know, you can come to the senior leadership and so on. Okay. So understand a lot of things that are fluid right now. So you're also, again, in your back office, there's nothing working except the profile and your team. And so you can go back there and click on your team, like I said, and you'll see the numbers. All right. I'm sure Antonio and Chad and the IT and the programming department are working today, because they got to be. They're on a tight schedule. Okay, they're on a tight schedule. Also, yeah, Bruce, if there's a YouTube video out there for KYC, can you put that on there? A good one, a short YouTube video. Okay, if your team's not showing anything, then you don't have a team under you. If you have a team under you, they haven't got to you yet. All right, you got to remember how we're built. So if you're starting and you don't have a team under you except for your two people, they haven't got to you yet. This is a good thing. They will get to you. This is telling you that you are protected. This is why we told you and we taught you to build your first 5 levels exactly the way we did it. And then after you've got people spilling into your level 6, now you can start using your link. Okay. And yes, that is changing on a daily basis with different teams that have different strategies. All right. Because we all know one thing, that Donnie said to sponsor the world. So that means there's 2 ways of building it. We chose to explain to you the 2 ways and why we built it our way. And we continue to build it our way. Okay. And that means that we don't count on what? What's that bad word that we don't count on, David?
Built the T all over my lap. Now I gotta clean it up.
No spill. Hallelujah. Give me a 2 if you can say hallelujah and amen that we don't have to recruit people telling them that they're going to get spillover and we can just recruit for you. No, sir. Matter of fact, they took that out. Remember the $600 per month with no recruiting? That is gone.
None of my people use that language.
Nobody uses that language. And if you do, that you are telling a fibber.
Yep,
You're a
you
fibber.
are.
What do we call that? Fibber McGee? There is no $600 a month with no recruiting. Why? Because it is not compliant. And number 2, it is not sustainable. The same reason why, for those of you that remember, there's no 29,000 a month with 5,000 a month coming out in expenses. Why? Because on October the 15th, when we got Tony, that was one of the first things he looked at. And he said, hey, guys, owners who are in the business. By the way, yes, the owners are in the business and they are members. Give me a 1 if you understand that the 4 owners are in the business and they are members just like you and I. So what does that mean? Give me a 1 if you understand that, and then tell us what it means that the owners themselves are in the business and a member just like you and I. What does that mean to you? What does that tell you about the owners? Somebody throw it out there real quick. We're fixing to wrap this up. Exactly, Patricia. They don't get paid until we get paid. Totally 360 degrees from the old way of doing business. And that fact and the fact that they accepted family members is what is driving everybody outside of the United States crazy. And they're joining like there's no tomorrow. No tomorrow. That's simple. And some of our biggest groups are coming from 2 major fishing holes. Can anybody guess what they are, David? Let's see if
OP
anybody.
is
Wait a
one.
minute. Don't you know? Don't tell them yet. Can anybody guess what fishing holes? If you're going to fish in a network marketing MLM hole for potential clients, which one? Well, you're talking about people now. Yes, outside the United States, we got 60 countries to fish in. Okay, the Philippines, you did church groups. Now I'm talking about particular companies. Who, if you knew stories about particular companies right now, would you go after? There it is, OP. So what is OP, Tina? Tell the world what OP is. Because on passive, okay? And there's another big one. I'm not going to say it because I don't recruit from there. I'm a part of that company, and I'm only a part of that company because I use the products. I'm not building in that company right now. I will go back with our business model at a later time if I've got time. There you go. If I've got time, David. Yep. Oh, somebody said it. They are, we have a lot of people from there. Now, look, Ben Galinsky is the owner, and he will tell you that he doesn't care what you do as long as you don't what? Poach. So there's no poaching allowed, and this is being recorded. There's no cross recruiting allowed. What you do is you're going to share the benefits of why they might want to have their own shopping mall. Yes, Live Good has its own shopping mall, but Live Good shopping mall right now is relegated to nutritional supplements, and I take a lot of them. So does David. There's a lot of people that take them, and the reason we take them is because they work. And they're the least expensive nutritional supplements on the planet. There is a benefit. All right. Anyway, so wrapping this up, let's go over what we talked about real quick. We talked about a lot of things, but we focused on a couple of things. And a couple of things was establishing your why. What else did we focus on, David?
How you going to do it?
Yep. Time management. Time management. Because once you got your why, now you've got to find the time that you're going to sacrifice. Yes, I said sacrifice. because you're going to have to give up watching TV. You're going to have to give up something that's you spend time on until you can alleviate something else so that you have that time to go back to. If that makes sense, give me a 3. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Good. So get your why first. If you don't have a strong enough why, or you have multiple whys, that's okay. You can have multiple whys, but you need to list them. And you need to do this. This is a gold nugget. Write this down. List your whys in order of priority. If you've got more than one why, put them in priority, and you will put them in the affirmative. You need to put them in the affirmative. David, do you know what that means?
Missed the question, sir. I'm busy here in the
Your
chat.
why. Your why is prioritized if you've got more than one, and you have to when you write that down, because you're going to read this, you have to put it in the affirmative. Okay? I will do this for my children. I am doing this for my children. That is an affirmative.
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action. And you have to put it in the affirmative because now it becomes an intention. And when you read these out, here's a gold nugget. Get 3, get 1. Take 5 and then reduce it to 1 to start with. Now, I'm going to teach you something very careful. Did you want to listen to this? Write this down. You write it in the affirmative. You write this in the affirmative. It's not I will. It's you. The affirmative is I am. I am successful. I am wealthy. I have all the resources that I want or need. Those are affirmative statements. Take your why and prioritize it and take it to 1, put it in the affirmative, and I want you to say it 3 times before you go to sleep. Before you lay down and go to sleep at night, 3 times. Say that. I am doing Des Alpes for my children. As an example, I am doing Des Alpes for my family. I am doing Des Alpes. Pick the why, put them in order, say them to the affirmative, take them one at a time, and you're going to do this for 30 days. Trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen. 30 days to the affirmative, 3 times before you go to sleep, you say this one thing that you've got. 3 times before you go to sleep. When you wake up, the first thing that you do, you say it 3 times before you do anything else. And if you do this for 30 days, what's going on is this goes from the conscious. Now, follow me closely. This goes from the conscious back to the subconscious. The subconscious does not deal in your day-to-day reality. You don't have to believe me. You can look this up. The subconscious does not deal with the day-to-day reality. It deals in the abstract. It deals in other dimensions. Now, I know some of you are not going to believe this. Some of you are not going to understand this, but I'm going to tell you, I practice this and have for a long time. Okay? The subconscious will take that affirmation because it's now an intention, and it will put it out to the universe, and the universe will bring it back, and it will tell the subconscious how to do what needs to be done to make that affirmative statement a reality in your reality that you exist in. Give me a 1 if you follow what I'm just said. Give me a 1 if you're following what I'm saying. If you're not following what I'm saying, give me a 2. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, give me a 2. Okay, and also divest. You understand the word divest, David?
I do, but I don't.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
divest
lie.
means to move away from. Divest, there's different words. Divest yourself as much as possible. Write this down. Divest yourself as much as possible from all negative things in your reality. Listen to me very carefully. Divest yourself of all negative things in your current reality. Now, for some of you, this is going to be the most difficult task you've ever took on. For some of you, it is almost a daily affirmation and intention of you, and you will know the difference. You will know the difference. Ask Gabby, ask Amy, ask David, ask Adrian, ask anybody that practices these principles. Your mindset is everything next to your health, because without your health first, gold nugget, without your health, your mindset doesn't matter, and neither does anything else. So you have to do what? You have to get in control. You are in control of your health. The only one else that could be in control of your health is God. That is my opinion. Okay. But only you, what? You have free will and choice. I'm gonna wrap this up, because all this kind of stuff is another training. But give me a 2 if you're getting any value. Give me a 2 if anybody here is getting any value, and you know that you can't go anywhere else in the world to get this kind of information, to get this kind of training, to get this kind of knowledge, to get this for you and your families. What? Future. Now, I challenge you right now. Write this down. This is your challenge. Next time we have a training, your challenge is to bring at least one person. That's all. One new person that is not here with you today. This is your challenge. And if you do this, you will explode your business that you're in, no matter what it is, including Des Alpes.
You got to vision it.
You got to be able to see it. Okay.
Not only do I do affirmations like Bob's talking about, but when I lay down and go to bed at night, my mind just goes 90 miles an hour. And I pick 1 or 2 things I want to accomplish. And I vision that in my mind. Next thing you know, I'm waking up the next morning.
Yeah.
And that helps me because it will come to pass because I visioned it.
Focus your time. Here's what you've got to do. Everybody has life. I'm not telling you that you don't have date night. I'm not telling you that you don't have family night. You have to have these things. And those take part of your time. But those are productive. Family night is an absolute must. You have to bring that back. We lost family night over the last 10, 20 years in our society. Why? Because we're fractured because of technology, the phone, the internet, the streaming TVs, and on and on and on. Do you know when there's time for playing on TikTok, and there's time for playing games on Facebook, and there's time for watching all your favorite shows? For me, when I'm gone off this planet. That's how strong my why is for each and every one of you. I don't do this. Look, there are a tremendous amount of us that are already debt free. Here's the question. If you want to learn how to become debt free in the next 12 to 24 months, like David, like Alan, like Gary, like Craig, like Joe, give me a 5. If you want to learn how to become debt free completely, really debt free, give me a 5 in the next 12 to 24 months, and we're going to teach you. Now, how many people are you going to go and bring to the next training knowing what you know today? How many people are you going to go? I want to hear how many people? 1, 2, 5, 10, 20? All I'm asking you is to take what you've heard and share it. You're going to have a copy of this recording. It's not just for you. You have to share everything with your family, with your teams. You got to understand this is not about you anymore either. It's about your family. Is your family worthy? Give me a 2 if you believe your family is worthy of your time and your effort to build a business that is going to free them of all the BS in this world, that's going to give them the opportunity to do things that they've never been done before, and you're going to create generational wealth. So when you are gone off this planet, you don't have to worry about your kids and your children's kids. Trust me when I tell you, I am a man of my word. I am a man of God. I am a brother in Christ. I am a leader of men and women because I want to, and I am also compelled to. Period. And every single one of you have God's gifts and talents that you may not even know yet. But stay focused. Ernest is right. Focus as an acronym. Follow one course until successful. I love it.
Keep your eye on the prize.
Right. What is the prize, David?
Put your blinders on and keep your eyes straight ahead to the prize. Why do you think your windshield's bigger than the
Freedom.
rear view mirror?
I love that one. Well,
And being debt free.
Everybody wants to look in the rearview mirror. My wife goes, excuse me. My wife goes, Bob, honey, you never look in the rearview mirror. And I tell her, I have no control over the rearview mirror. Listen to what I'm saying. This is not about driving your car. David's not talking about driving your car. We're talking about your life. You have no control over anything in your rearview mirror. What happens then has already happened. It's behind you.
That's correct.
Your reality is moving forward. Your reality is also not moving backwards unless you decide in your mind to stay in that reality. Understand what we're talking about here. What do you want your reality to be? Somebody give me the answer. What do you want your reality to be? Come on. We're interactive. What do you want your reality to be? Whatever I want. There you go. And how bad do you want it, Bruce? How bad do you want your reality to be? Come on, folks.
Bad to the bone.
Bad to the bone, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to assume that I've either bored everybody because we've lost about 20 people and we're at 2 hours, so I'm going to shut this down. Stay focused and away from negative people. Absolutely, positively. Yep. Okay. Get yourself away from negative influences. Surround yourself with those that want to support you positively and lift you up so you can lift them up. Get your focus on the focus. Determine your why. Manage your time. Do not let time manage you. Write that down. I manage my time. I don't let time manage me. Write that down. I'm going to say it again. I manage my time. I do not let time manage me. David, you got anything else?
No, I'm just excited about this whole thing. I'm glad everybody came today. This has been a really great meeting. And like Bob said, you can take this video and share it. We'll get the recording out to you. If you're on my team, I'll get it in the groups for you. And just remember, man, keep those blinders on your side. Don't get distracted, and don't let anybody say, "Oh, this isn't going to work for you."
Yep. Yep.
Don't
Tina's
let
right.
anybody come in. Don't let anybody come in and tell you that.
The people that tell you that things are a scam are the ones that have been burnt. Now that is a
Yep.
reality. There is
Yep.
reality to that and truth to that. And the people
Yep.
that tell you, I'm not going to have nothing to do with you till you show me the money. Can you just imagine what's going to happen when you get to, quote, show them the money? Because all it's going to take is the fact that you get your first $200 back. That's it. Then it doesn't matter what happens next or how long it takes to get to that next. It matters that those people now are going to say, well, okay, now you got something cooking.
Especially when you change your zip code or you buy that new car, they're going to wonder, what in the heck are y'all selling drugs? What are you doing
Yeah.
over there?
Or you decide that your charity. Here's what we're going to teach you. Here's a quick golden nugget. Get a good CPA now. Or for some of us, a tax attorney. Why? Because they are also a certified public accountant, first and foremost. And a tax attorney knows the code and the 2025 code inside and out. Go look at it on YouTube. Learn what you need to learn. And you want to learn how to manage your checkbook. Okay. We taught you one most important thing about your back office. You will get the opportunity to put everything in manual. Don't do it. The only thing that's going to be in manual is if you're not to Ambassador 6 yet, you're not going to get it automatic. If you are Ambassador 6, that's already done. Ambassador 7 is the last step for us that are Ambassador 6, and that is coming. And we're not worried about it. Okay. But the Ambassador 6 of us, that's already gone. That's once a year. So that gets added back. And oh, by the way, this is not public information yet. So don't go running out and say, Bob said. It appears that we are not going to have our expenses taken out in February and held to March. Now, I want you to qualify this, that I am suggesting that this is being looked at very, very hard right now. And there's no reason for the owners to do this except why? Why would the owners do this, David?
Give everybody a chance.
And themselves.
Yeah.
What everything that they do is under compliance and under sustainability because it has to work for each and every single one of you first, so it will work for them and their families.
Yep.
God, I hope y'all are getting this, man. I hope y'all are getting this. I hope y'all are getting this. Okay. So yes, all these things. So the training. All right. Thank you before
You're
we
welcome,
leave.
Coleman. Thanks you for coming, man. Appreciate you.
Before we leave, I'm going to let you know we're making a change in our schedule. There will be no more Saturday trainings. Okay, write this down. Monday stays at 1 p.m. Eastern for a business Zoom. Monday at 1 p.m. is the business Zoom. That stays for now. Wednesdays, Des Alpes and the new admin of operations, Denis Drapeau, is doing the English version on Wednesdays. We will give up Thursdays for his Wednesdays for now. Okay? Hang
And
on a
that's
second.
9 Eastern on that one, I think.
I think it's it's 9 Eastern. We'll get the link before Wednesday. Okay.
Thanks, Patricia.
Yeah. Well, Anna, I'm sorry that your bank feels that way. And I can't do anything and I can't have an answer for your bank, but I can tell you for 30,000 people in their banks, this is not a problem. Well, because what's happening to you is there is no fraud. They don't suspect fraud. They just don't know because you didn't probably tell them ahead of time what you were doing. So If you don't tell your bank, okay, ahead of time in the United States that you're making a purchase to a company outside of the United States, no matter what it is, they are going to tell you it's fraud, period. Thank you. Now, we will get back to you. So again, 1 p.m. Mondays, every Monday. That's never changed. It's not going to change probably. Okay. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Des Alpes training in English. Okay. They also have the new slides. We have the new slides, and we have the new approved Des Alpes, and that's going out right now. Okay. That's also being put in all the different languages. Those of you that have Gary's last version, it's okay. All right. It is not wrong. It is okay. We will replace it eventually, but it is okay for now, and especially in all the languages translated. So no fretting there. Okay. Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern from now on, we'll be training. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern from now on, we'll be training.
Love it.
So now we also have been doing Zooms privately for groups of 500 or more, just so you know. So when you get a team of 500 or more, doesn't matter what country they're in, we are doing that for them, and for obvious reason, right? Okay, so we're pushing our platform. Now, the other thing is, I want you to take this link that I'm getting ready to put in here, and I want you to go to the page that we've created on the GHL platform, Go High Level platform. One global community for all.com. I want you all to copy that and go there. And you're not required to join that page, but we are fractured right now, and nobody's going to take away your Facebook groups. No, because you need to have direct communication. But what we're doing, so that you know, is we have one singular platform, which is Go High Level, all right, that we are not charging anybody for. It's for communications. Yeah, you can copy. All you got to do is hover over that. It's a hyperlink, right click it, or actually just click on it and it will open up a new browser. So click on it and it will open up a new browser, and then you can save it and go look at it later, or you can just go ahead and get on there. Okay, we also have a link, David, I don't know if you have it handy, the one where you register for the Go High Level platform for free. Do you have that one handy?
I don't have anything open.
That's all right. We'll get to all that as we grow. Okay, but we are going to centralize because we've already got 2,000. You know, we cannot put we can put 1,000 on a Zoom, and we're getting there, very close to getting there, but we're not going to spend $1,500 to do that. We're just not going to do it. Yep. And we have hundreds of people in Montreal, Canada, Anna. So I cannot talk and speak for your people or your bank in Canada. Okay? And I understand what your bank in Canada is trying to tell you. All right? But first of all, Anna, who is your top leader? Who is your top leader? Who is the biggest leader that you know, Anna? We're trying to help you. Shouldn't be hard for you to give that answer. So anyway, the new schedule is Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Business Zoom. Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, Business Zoom with Des Alpes. Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, training with us. Okay. Anybody got any other questions before we go? We're at 2.5 hours again. Anybody got any other questions before you go? Yes, and by the way, Des Alpes is in Canada, and my point man, which is one of David's biggest leaders, he's also our biggest leader. David and Joe Anthony have the biggest team underneath me. I've got 20,000. They've got 50% of my 20,000, and they are in Canada. They have multiple people in Canada, and Joseph Anthony speaks fluent French. He's on the French calls, and he lives 30 minutes away from the president of Des Alpes. Period.
Super blessed to have him.
Yep,
Super
we are
blessed.
super blessed to have that relationship. And so that's it. So the next thing that's going to happen, obviously, is 1 o'clock Monday. Make sure that you get the registration link. Get the registration link for that and be there if you can. All right. Again, 24 hours from now. So again, one last time, the challenge for each and every one of you is for next Thursday, bring at least one new guest. Somebody that's not in. Now, you always want to bring your team. You know, if you are a leader, if you've got 3 levels of people, you are a leader. You should be leading them to the training yourself. You have to lead by example. You have to be on a business Zoom. You have to be in the training. Otherwise, your people will do exactly what you do. And what is that, David?
They'll do exactly what you do.
They'll do nothing. If you
Yeah.
don't come to the trainings, and you can't tell people you watched, look, you can sit there all day long and say, well, I watched the Zooms. Okay. How are you going to prove that?
Then why are you asking questions you already should know?
Right. Right.
That's
I'm
why
just
we ask questions when we qualify somebody.
Yeah.
Because if they can't answer our questions, we know they haven't watched the why video, they haven't watched the how video,
Yep.
and so they're not ready yet.
And that doesn't change for all of you new people. The same process that Gary and I created 5.5 months ago is the same process we use today. And we do not advertise our links.
Nope.
We don't advertise our links because there's nothing to advertise. And if you think there is, that means that you don't even know what's on your own page of your link.
Not the way to
Just
do
saying. Just saying. Okay. No other questions. I'm going to wrap this up. You have the challenge. David, you got anything last to give them?
Just appreciate everybody coming,
Yeah.
and keep your prayers coming for Gary. Let's get him out of the woods. He's a very huge part of this operation. We love him and we want him to get well. We want to see him on all these calls.
Prayers for each and everybody on here that has difficulties in their lives. Prayers out to you. Prayers to your family members that are going through whatever they're going through. Lisa Webb, who is one of our team under Jeff McBee, and his team just lost her brother.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I've seen that.
Lost her brother. It reminded me when I lost my baby sister. I was devastated.
Oh yeah,
devastated.
Never get
I
over
lost my
something
baby
like that.
sister to ALS, and that nobody saw coming. There's nothing in our family tree anywhere, and I couldn't watch her go through it. I have to pray to God every freaking day that someday I will see her and my mother again. Someday I will, and I can't begin to tell you my angst and my issues with knowing that I didn't spend enough quality time. So I'm telling you this to tell you that. Spend the quality time with your loved ones. They are all you truly have, save God himself in your life that you do.
Amen.
And I'm going to end on that. I'm going to tell you, God loves each and every single one of you here. And so do David and Gary and I. We will see you all at the top. Goodbye.